back to another weekly reading vlog. I am so excited about this one because as opposed to last week's reading vlog, we are kind of taking it a little bit more chill this week. So last week we read Yellow Phase and Crescent City, and that took up a lot of brain power. So this week we are just kind of chilling for a minute. We're going to take a quick breather between Crescent City 1 and Crescent City 2. I don't think I'm going to start Crescent City 2 until about the 20th of January because I heard it leaves off on a huge cliffhanger. And since the third book doesn't come out till the 30th, I want to line those up as close as possible so I can just dive into the next one. So that is kind of my plan for that reading. But let's talk about the books that I have lined up for this week. So my first book that I am listening to actually is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, and I'm about 100 pages into this. So this book has a lot of different characters actually, but the person that we're focusing on a lot and kind of ties this whole thing together is Vera Wong. And Vera Wong is this older lady who is just trying to get by, kind of fill her days. She owns this tea shop and it's her pride and joy, but it's not really doing that well. She's a little bit of an overbearing mother to her child Tilly, and he is just so funny because he does not want all of these messages from his mom, but she does not care. But one day she comes down into her tea shop and she finds a dead body there and honestly responds pretty well to it. So she calls the police and they come in and they do not do what she expects them to do because she has been watching true crime shows for so long that she is just ready for this moment. She knows what's supposed to happen. So when the police don't deliver on that, she decides to take matters into her own hands and open up her own investigation. So through that investigation, we meet a bunch of other characters who become her suspects in her case, and it is just so charming. So I'm really enjoying the voice in this so far, and she suspects everybody and she has no idea who actually did it. She has no idea that it was even a murder in the first place. It could have been a slew of things, but she really believes that it's a murder. So she is going to get to the bottom of this. So we are kind of watching her go through the suspect list and try to understand their different motivations so she can catch the person who actually did this murder. Again, about 100 pages in, I'm really enjoying my time with that. The audiobook I'm really enjoying as well. So all of it is just going very well so far. And then the book I'm reading physically right now is Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma, and this is just like candy for my brain. This is a romance novel, but it is more cultural, and so we get to see kind of the traditional aspects of a community, and we see that through the two POVs of Karina and Prem. Both of these individuals have been really focused on their careers and they have kind of put off the more traditional settling down family lifestyle so they can get to a place in their careers that they feel confident and comfortable that they are ready to give that to a relationship. However, their families really start to put the pressure on them that now is the time, and they both get really beneficial things from getting engaged. So they have this little bit of a spat, and then they decide that it might be easiest to just have a bit of a sham engagement so that they can get the benefits of being engaged and then kind of just call it off after they get those benefits. So far I'm really enjoying it because this cultural aspect with the aunties is so much fun. They're just these older women who just gossip and think that they know best and really try to control or just really heavily dictate what's going on in the lives of the people that they care about. And it is just hilarious, quite frankly. And I really like both of these individuals, Karina and Prem. So Karina really wants this full out love, hard eyes and all of these flowers dancing in the kitchen. She really believes in that romance, where Prem believes more so in the arranged marriage and the benefits of being close to somebody, open communication, but he doesn't really believe in a love marriage. So they have those two conflicting views on love, and so they, I guess, come to an understanding that they are going to get the benefits of this engagement, and it says it on the back of the book, so not a spoiler, but I believe that's what's going to happen. So I am a little bit nervous because that would be so sad to get to the end of this book and it not be a happily ever after. If Prem didn't change his thoughts on love, I would be so sad because we can feel the chemistry between them right now. So I'm really hoping that we'll start to see the emotional connection between them as well. So those are my two current reads and what I'm up to in them. So I am really enjoying my time with them. Again, this is more of the light, fluffy week because last week was very intense. And I want to say that I'm probably going to pick up another book this week, but I'm also going to be starting grad school again on Wednesday. So I don't want to commit to too much, but I am also really, really loving these books. So I just want to fly through them. So yeah, we have grad school starting on Wednesday. We also have book club on Wednesday, and I actually have a plan for the weekend, like an outing, which I did not have. Well, I guess I did technically have an outing last weekend, but like a fun plan. There's more going on this week, so I probably won't have multiple hours to sit down and read, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. So I will take you all along as I get started on this, and I will check back in when I have one. Tuesday evening now, and I am so sorry if you can hear the rain just coming down. It is raining like cats and dogs here, and there is truly nothing I can do about it. But I hope that you all are fine with it because we are going to talk about some reading updates. So first off, I did indeed binge the life out of Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma, and I finished it last night and I gave it 4.5 stars. It was so good. So kind of my final thoughts on this, and I hate that I didn't even really get to talk to you all about it while I was going through it, but I really enjoyed just how submerged you are in the South Asian culture, and that I'm just saying generally because there are a couple of different cultures represented in this book, and that's what I think primarily they talk about in here, so that's what I'm going with. But I really just enjoyed just how much you were in it. I am not very educated on the community, so getting to see their traditions and the foods that they eat and their family dynamics, like all of it was so interesting. I really enjoyed like the aunties that are meddling in your love life and think that there's nothing better than you getting married. Also, I guess I don't really think about it as much in Western culture, or how arranged marriages are still very prevalent and people do enjoy them and find long-lasting partners, but that is like the crux between these two, is that she really wants a love marriage like her parents had, and he doesn't really believe in love. He thinks it's an illusion. He's a cardiologist, and all of the studies say that it is just a feeling, it's not really love. And so he doesn't believe in it and therefore really can't give Karina what she wants. But so that they can both get the financial gains that they would get from being together, the kind of sham proposal is always on the books, and we can see them both just grow really fond of one another, even though they had a pretty shaky start. I don't know, I just really felt like because it wasn't all just primarily focused on the romance, like it was obviously a big point in the story, but there was so much more to it, especially the family dynamics. I felt like that was extremely prevalent in this book. I just really enjoyed that the romance wasn't, I guess, the cornerstone of this book. We really focus on them as individuals and their individual career goals, and Karina trying to buy this house. So those are really the primary things, and trying to unpack a lot of what they're feeling individually and seeing if they really can come together. So overall, I just had such a good time with it. I really liked that it was dual POV. I felt like we definitely needed that. But yeah, I think it was more of the experience for me and really understanding more about this community. So I really enjoyed this, and I look forward to reading more by this author. Next, I'm on page 188 of Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, and I am also really enjoying this one. It is just so cozy. Even though Vera is like this pesky old woman who is really trying to solve this murder, everything about it is just so lighthearted. Like, we are getting all of these different POVs and how everybody kind of just defers to Vera, and just the joy that she ends up bringing to these people seemingly randomly and then bringing them all together and then kind of forming a friendship outside of them being her suspects. Also, I think it's so funny because there are a couple of times in this book where people are like, why don't you just leave it to the police? And she just goes, ah, the police, they are useless. They cannot do their job. And it is just so funny because I can just really see like an older woman just knowing better and knowing that she can do better than somebody who's trained to do their job. And it's just so funny. Like, it is just such a funny time. It's very endearing. I'm really enjoying this. And it makes it even better because the person who was murdered was an extremely unlikable character. Like, everybody, all of her suspects did not like him. They all agreed. Even his wife was like, no, he was not a great man. So I think that that makes it a lot better too. With that, again, really enjoying the audiobook. That's how I'm consuming this. And I think that that's a really good way to do it because it's just so much fun. So I guess we're at about the halfway point now, and I'm hoping to finish this by the end of the week. For an audiobook, it just goes a little bit slower because I just pop it in when I have time, but I am still enjoying it. And then lastly, because I need a new physical read, and I actually picked up The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Haro, and after about 5 or 6 pages, I just put it down because I think that the writing style is very submersive, but it's also kind of a little bit more brain power than I was willing to put in at that point. So I think I'm actually going to use my Audible credit for this month to listen to that one as an audiobook, and hopefully that just paints a clearer picture for me. So I put that one down and I picked up A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, and I'm about 50 pages into this book now, and I have some mixed feelings on it so far. So we're focusing on our main character, Effie, and she is so far kind of just an anxious, depressed girly, and she is in this architecture school, and the only thing that's bringing her joy right now is that there was a request that went out from her favorite author's estate to build something for him, like a house. The author has since passed, so she actually gets accepted, and that's not a spoiler because that's the whole plot of this book. She gets accepted to go and build this house. I don't really know much more than that at this point. I know that at her school, her architecture advisor and her had a thing, and it seems like it ended very badly, and she just seems very jumpy, very just skittish, and really sad. She has sleeping pills because she can't make it through the night, and she has, I think, like anxiety pills to calm her down, but they're actually for when she starts to see things that nobody else can see. And so it's just like she has a lot going on. Like, I really just want to give her a hug. And she actually talks about how she hugs her friend, and it's like the most calm that she's been in forever. And I just feel like she needs more of that because she is clearly going through a lot mentally. And yeah, a hug would just very much so be in order. So I think because of that, I don't know if I'm really enjoying it yet. I just really feel for this character and hope that she gets like the joy out of this adventure that she wants. But I think that she's going to have to face some pretty tough demons along the way. But I love this edition. I think it's the UK version, but it is so stunning. Like, I kind of just want to read it like this so I don't even crack the spine, even though you could definitely just hear it cracking. But those are my only updates tonight. I just filmed a couple of TikToks already for some reviews, and now I think for the rest of the night I am just going to read and really just dive into the rainy, cozy vibe. And we hope that Wednesday will not be as rainy, but we'll see. We have book club tomorrow night. How exciting. And I will give you all an update later. Howdy everyone, it is Wednesday afternoon now, and I don't really have much of a reading update other than, actually, this is so funny, like, hi, hello, how are you? Those are appropriate ways to start off a segment, but that is clearly not in my vocabulary. So I was trying to listen to Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, and I love this audiobook. It is so fun. The voices are so well done, and I'm really loving it. And then all of a sudden I get the, you've hit your 15 hours on Spotify. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. But I saw that you can actually do top up hours on Spotify, but it's only 10 hours for $10.99. So like $1 per hour. Seems like a lot to me, but also am I going to do it? Probably, because I'm already this invested in the audiobook and that's how I want to finish it. But still, seems like highway robbery to me. I didn't really get much more of the way through in A Study in Drowning, so I'm not going to really talk about that. But I did get my Book of the Month books in yesterday, so I wanted to share them with you all. So my January Book of the Month pick was Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin, and I think that this sounds like such a human book. Like all of your quirky parts just utterly exposed and like you're faced with your own self, like the Spider-Mans pointing at each other in the mirror. That's what I imagine this book is like. So this book focuses on our main female character, Enid, and she really enjoys space. She can tell you all of these fun facts about it, and she doesn't really have any fears except for bald men. I think that she sounds a little quirky, but I am really excited to learn more about her. But she's falling into her first serious romantic entanglement when she starts to believe that somebody is following her, and she becomes very paranoid and suspicious, and she's starting to wonder if something's actually wrong with her, like mentally. Oh, and there's also at the bottom of the summary, it says, Interesting facts about space effortlessly shows us the power of revealing our secret shames, the most beautifully human parts of us all. And I think that that is so sweet. So I really like this. I think the back is super cute. I hate that it doesn't have like the Book of the Month tag on it. I can't stand that. Like, I really don't like it when they do that, but that's besides the point. And then I had one add-on because last month I listened to this book, Butcher and Blackbird by Bren Weaver, and this was a serial killer romance that I actually really enjoyed. I thought that it was so well done, and I think the audiobook made it way more bearable for me because I think if I was reading this, it would have been a little bit tougher because their banter, like this is a really well done audiobook because it's not like one person's POV and then the other person's POV. Like the two voice actors are bigger, like back and forth, like they're different lines, like they're just going back and forth. I think that I love that so much about it. My stomach definitely did roll a couple of times because it, it can get messy. But before you even get into the book, there is a full list of trigger warnings, and they also have that in the audiobook, so it spells all of that out. And I think that this, the dedication is for those of you who read the trigger warnings and said accidental cannibalism, count me in. This one's for you. And I think that is strictly hilarious. And then you have different playlists. Well, you have one playlist and you have different songs to go along with each chapter. Like, I just think that there was such care in how this book was being portrayed, and I just really appreciate that. So I really enjoyed this. I'm really looking forward to, I think it's called Leather and Lark, and it follows Salone's best friend, Lark, and I believe, and then Rowan's brother, Lachlan. So I'm really looking forward to that. I really like the epilogue and how it's set up for the next book really well. So I thought that this was just a ton of fun, despite the kind of gruesome matter to it. I never thought I would be one of those people, and honestly, in comparison to probably what this genre has to offer, it's probably pretty light and pretty tame. But other than that, I really enjoyed my time with it and would definitely highly recommend the audiobook if you can get your hands on it. So those are my two Book of the Month picks, and I am very pleased with them, and now I'm going to go put them on my shelf and go read for a little bit before heading over to book club. So I'll see you all when I have another update. Hey there everyone, and happy Friday. It's a lovely work from home day, so that is what we are doing. It is Friday morning, so I'm about to log on and get to it so we can get to the weekend. I didn't film a ton yesterday because I didn't really have many updates because, well, the night before we had book club, so I didn't do a lot of reading then. And then obviously I hadn't done a lot of reading after that. So yesterday I spent working on like trying to get through a little bit more of A Study in Drowning. And I did get a little bit more into it. I'm on page 140 now, but I found myself really just not getting into the story. Like every time I would pick it up, I'd be 10 more pages into it and just start kind of falling asleep. So that's why you saw last night that I was walking while reading this, because then I was kind of like forced to stay awake and really get into it. But honestly, it's kind of disappointing so far. I'm not enjoying it like I thought I was going to be. So Effie is now at this author's house that she's supposed to be kind of reconstructing and just making it more grand in his honor. This author has passed, so his son is there kind of overseeing the project, and another student from the literature college is there. And I don't think that I mentioned this, but Effie really wanted to be in the literature college. She really wanted to be there. That's what she wanted to do with her life. But in this world, women's brains are not functional enough to write anything that would have a lasting impact. Painful. But because of that, she went for the next best thing, which was the architecture college. So she doesn't really enjoy it, but she wanted to do this project so that she could still make something that would last. And she loves this author, like has the favorite copy of his book basically memorized cover to cover. And she meets with this literature college student, and he just kind of gives off some like weird, maybe more standoffish vibes, and just doesn't seem to really be as into this author's work as she is. So it's very interesting. They form a bit of an unlikely alliance. And then we also have this very odd kind of second story where she sees things that nobody else can see, but she knows that they're real. Like the Fairy King in this book is real. Like there's a very interesting magical component to this story that I don't fully understand, honestly. But she sees this Fairy King, and that's why she takes her daytime pills to hopefully try to dull that out. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the Fairy King means in the grand scheme of this, like why she's trying to put him on, like if he's like a trickster or something. I'm really not sure. But so she starts to feel him more so like in this town, because the town is called the Bottom 100, and it had a drowning. It had its first drowning, I think, 200 years prior to the story. And so this town is like basically just like fishermen. They are salt and grime. Like everything is already basically kind of looking like it might go underwater again. So the atmosphere is very eerie, definitely. Effie and this literature college student kind of make like an unlikely alliance, and it's very hopeful. I really enjoy the main male character because he is just so practical. But Effie, because of I think a lot of things that have happened in her life, is just very emotional, very like jumpy, just quick to get hot-headed or sad. Like it just seems like more of a roller coaster for Effie. It definitely seems like she has some like trauma that she's gone through. She has some depression, anxiety. Like I feel like there's a lot of mental health representation in here. But overall, it just makes me want to give her a hug because she is just so, it just seems like she thinks that she's just so alone. And it's just very sad. So overall, I think this is kind of disappointing so far. Like I really wanted to love this book, but it is not as good as I was hoping it would be right now. So yeah, we'll hopefully try to finish this one today or tomorrow, and then hopefully it gets better, but I'm not sure. And then I haven't made any more progress on Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers because I did not give myself top up hours from Spotify, because I bought a really nice special edition book that I'm very excited to share with you all, and I'm very excited about it. It's supposed to come in today, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to share it. But because of that, my like book budget for the month is shot. Like I should not spend any more money on books this month. So I'm gonna read that I think this afternoon just to give myself like a break from a study in drowning. And then tonight we have chili night with our friends, but otherwise it's a 3-day weekend for me. Bank holidays are truly the best. So I am going to have a longer weekend to hopefully get a lot of reading done, because we decided on Magnolia Parks for book club, and I'm very hesitant about it because I feel like people either love it and are obsessed with it, or they really hate the toxicity of it. So I really hope I'm not in the toxicity camp. But those are my updates for this morning, so I will talk to you all in a little bit. Okay, good morning everyone. It is Saturday morning now, and I have a bit of a reading update, but before we get into that, I owe you all a look at the special edition that came in yesterday. So this is one of my most anticipated new releases for Q1, and I am just so obsessed with it. And I'm so excited to read more from this author because I've heard such good things about The Final Strife, which is one of her series. It's not completed, so I think after that completes, I am going to buy all of those because apparently book 2 leaves off on a super big cliffhanger. All of that aside, there was a very special edition from Fairy Loot, and it is so pretty. Oh my gosh, look at it. The gold foiling. The cover is so stunning. Okay, so that's the front. You've got the gold foiling going down the spine, and really pretty on the back. And then the sprayed edges are so good looking. Okay, so that's all of that. Okay, and then under the dust jacket, it looks like one of those Regal classics, so that is super cool. So love that. Then the end pages. So it's very stunning, and it's coming out, well, it came out I think way before the release date, probably a couple weeks. So I am really excited about this one. I'm probably going to put it on my February TBR because I just have such high hopes for it and really want to dig into this author's writing. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm so happy. Even though it was more than I wanted to spend on it, I'm just so happy to have it. Okay, now let's talk about a reading update for A Study in Drowning. I know that I said I was going to switch over to Vera Wong, but I ended up not doing that. I just wanted to cruise through this one and hopefully finish it. Alas, I did not, but I am about 80 pages out from finishing it now, and think I've decided that this is a book of just vibes. Like, you're really there for the eeriness of the environment. The plot is okay. It's not like the worst, but it's not something super great either, but I think you're really just there for the vibes and like the lyrical writing. I don't have anything against that, but it's really not a book that's really gripping me. So I am looking forward to how this book ends, just if there's anything that's going to be like good coming out of it, because I feel like it's just kind of dark and heavy, and that's okay, but it hasn't been, I think, just very good overall. So it's looking to be about like a 2.5 to 3 star right now, unless something dramatically changes in the last 80 pages, but that's kind of where I'm at with this book. And since it is Saturday, I'm going to spend some time reading that today. I'm going to try to convince my husband to go out for a pho and just do a little bit of a walk around because it's kind of nice today. It's in the high 50s, which in winter you've really just got to soak that up. So I think I'm going to try to convince him to do that, but for right now I'm just going to read and go from there. So I will keep you all updated throughout the day. All right, everyone, it is Sunday now, and we are about to close out this vlog because I finished all the books that I wanted to read for it. So let's go over my thoughts. Okay, so the first book that we finished was Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma, and I stand by that. I absolutely love this book. 4.5 stars. It was so immersive into the South Asian culture, and also the characters were just so fun in their independence and their career mindset, but also the social pressures that they were experiencing to get married and start a family. So I really enjoyed this one and would highly encourage everyone to pick this one up, and I look forward to reading more from this author. And then I finished A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, and I actually gave it 2.5 stars, and it was just kind of a letdown for me. I feel like based on my other updates, you probably could have seen this coming, but it just overall did not work for me. That we were really just there for the vibes and for like the couple of really nice like quotes, but otherwise I didn't feel very connected to the story or the characters in it. So overall, I'm not sure that I would recommend this one. If you're looking for dark academia, I don't even really consider it dark academia because they're not like in a college, or like the focus, I guess, is more so on an author of literature and not so much just literature as a standard. So I don't know, all around it just did not live up to my expectations. So unfortunately, I don't know. I also looked at the Goodreads reviews and there were a lot of people who really enjoyed this one, so I might just be a one-off. Who knows? That's completely possible. And then I finished Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Q. Sutanto, and I gave this 4 stars. I love this book. I started it as an audiobook and really enjoyed the narrators, and I would definitely recommend the audiobook because I thought it was so much fun to hear the different voices of the characters, especially Vera, because she'd go, yeah. And so when I went to go like read the book, then I could hear that like specific voice, and it was just so funny. So this is actually my first like cozy mystery, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and think I'm gonna pick up a few more of this genre because I had such a good time with it, and it was just, yeah, just a lovely time. I really enjoyed how everything wrapped up. I felt like that was really well done, and also the found family component within it. It was all just so heartwarming. I definitely teared up and just overall just had such a good time with it. So I would highly recommend picking this one up if you can as an audiobook. But I also look forward to reading more from Jesse Q. Sutanto. So those are the 3 books that we finished this week. I am very happy with it because there are just a lot of books to read. I really hope next week or the week after that I can kind of slow down a bit more, because one of my goals for the years was to just enjoy this process more, but right now I feel like I'm on kind of a tight turnaround with Crescent City coming out, so I wanted to get some other books in before I jump into the second Crescent City, and then inevitably on the 30th jump into Crescent City 3. So I am happy that I got through all of these, and definitely needed these 2 anyway as like a brain break, and had such a good time with it. So I'm very happy with them. So that's all for this vlog. Let me know what you all ended up reading this week, and if you've read any of the books that I have read this week, I would love to talk with you all about it in the comments down below, and I will see you all next week. Bye!